What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today I have a really special one for you. Are you ready? We have the Staccato XC and we're going to compare it to the Nighthawk Sand Hawk. I said that backwards. This is like picking between my two children to tell you which one is my favorite. It's like not going to be easy. Look, this is just for fun, guys. I think these guns are similar, even though the Nighthawk is like $1,000 more expensive. They're very similar, and if you're gonna drop 4, 5, 6 grand on a gun, you really need to make sure you get the one you want. So we're gonna go feature by feature. I'll tell you what the differences are. I'll tell you what I do and don't like, if there is one I prefer over the other, in hopes I can help you make a better decision. But this is just for fun. Don't get too butthurt in the comments. My comparison videos all do really well, but people get so butthurt in the comments. The Staccato came from my friend Woo. Thank you, Woo. Praise Woo. Praise Woo. The Sandhawk came from my buddy Kevin. I have very generous friends. Thank you, Kevin. I dropped the magazine because they shoot them out. Alright, we're going to start with the magazines. Now, this is the saddest thing I've ever had to say, but all I have here is 10-round magazines because Rhode Island passed a law, and I'm not going to commit a felony on camera. But I have Staccato mags, I have Atlas mags, I have Springfield Armory mags. In these guns, they're 2011 patents. Both the magazines are metal, high quality. I don't see a huge difference in the quality of the magazines. I believe the Staccato comes with 2 17 rounds and 1 20 round, where the Nighthawk shockingly only comes with 2 magazines. That blew my mind. I was very surprised the Nighthawk only came with 2 magazines. But the magazines themselves are very high quality, no issues there. The magwell is drastically different. Again, it's up to you which one you prefer and which one you want. The magwell that comes with the Staccato is removable. It's big, it's plastic. You take a pin out to take it in and out. It's great. If you want a big magwell, especially if this is going to be range competition, which I'm guessing this is what this gun is going to be for, the magwell is enormous on it, and a great amount of aftermarket support if you don't like that one. Now, the Nighthawk, if you are going to carry it for some reason, the magwell is much smaller and this will be much easier to carry. I think if you want to carry the Staccato, you might have to take that magwell off. With that said, the Nighthawk, the inside of the magwell is very generous. It's not as big as the Staccato, but it's very generous. In doing magazine exchanges, a whole bunch of them, I didn't see a big difference between the Nighthawk and the Staccato. Now, the grips are drastically different. And again, which one, I have a preference, but which one you like is going to be up to you. The Nighthawk has like this circle pattern on here. When I first saw them, I was like, oh, I don't know if that's aggressive enough. And when I felt them, I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. And there's like 0 felt recoil when you shoot this gun anyway, so the gun's not moving. Even when your hands are wet, the gun is not moving. So the the Nighthawk is not as aggressive. It's this circle pattern. The grip is smaller, so if you have smaller hands, you may like the grip on the Nighthawk a little better. The grip safety has a little bit more tension. I don't think that means anything, but it is what it is. Now, the Staccato grip is significantly more aggressive. The texture is sandpaper-esque. It's a polymer grip. I've seen a lot of these stippled. It's the same sandpaper grip on all 4 sides. You can definitely swap these out. There's a lot of aftermarket support. I kind of prefer the texture on the Staccato, even though I don't dislike the texture on the Nighthawk, but I like the size of the Nighthawk a little better. The Staccato is a little bit fat. So again, if you have very small hands, you may prefer the Staccato. Mag release, I can't really talk much about good or bad. They're both pretty standard. They drop the magazines freely. They're about in the same spot. No difference, no issues, nothing to write home about. Now, the trigger is significantly different. I mean, big time. The Staccato is a curved trigger. It's a polymer trigger. It's only 2.5 pounds. It is very light. They're both crisp. They both have a good reset. They're both good triggers. The Staccato is scary light. Several of my friends, including me, as we're shooting these, we shot the Springfield Prodigy, we shot the Nighthawk, we shot Shadow Systems, all these different guns at the range. I like to get my buddy's opinion. And then we went and shot the Staccato, and several of my buddies, as they were presenting out, they're prepping the trigger and click, they're like, oh, that trigger's too light. They indeed, in a safe direction, unfortunately, but they indeed. Or if they're shooting bang on the recoil, they prep that trigger and the gun went off before they were ready to go off. So, like I said, it's 2.5 pounds in the Staccato. You need to practice, especially if you carry a gun that has a 5, 6, 7, 8 pound trigger and you go to the range with this that has a 2.5 pound trigger. Practice, be comfortable. I don't think it's dangerous unless you don't practice and train with it. Then any gun is dangerous. The Nighthawk, I do prefer the trigger on the Nighthawk a little bit, surprisingly, even though it's commercial. Even though it's about a pound heavier, it's 3.75 pounds. It's a metal trigger, it's a flat face trigger, and while the Staccato trigger is great, I slightly prefer the Nighthawk. Again, they're both crisp. They both have the Nighthawk is a little bit crisper, a little bit shorter reset. It's a little bit nicer, and the 2.5 pounds on the Staccato scares me a little, to be honest. So I slightly prefer the trigger on the Nighthawk, but nothing dramatic. Rail, there's really nothing to talk about on the rail. They're both 1913 rails. They both fit Surefire, Streamlight, if you're stupid, Inforce, Olight. I put a bunch of lights on both of these, and they were good to go. Safety. The Staccato has a bigger safety if you want something that's larger. It is a little bit larger. Again, smaller hands. Maybe that's a little easier for you. The Nighthawk comes with just a single safety, and you can get it with an ambi if you want to add to it. And I believe the Staccato is the same way. I believe it comes with a single side, and you get an ambi. I should have checked that before the video. I'm sorry if I'm wrong on that one, but I've been wrong many times, and I will be wrong many, many times more. But the safeties, as far as the way they feel, the tape, the shape, the texture, the size, they're very, very similar. The Nighthawk's a little smaller. The Nighthawk does require a tiny bit more pressure to drop it. I mean, tiny bit more. Again, I don't think it's bad or good or any different, but I'm just trying to be as thorough as possible. Slide releases are very similar as well. They're 1911, 2011 shape, size, location, all that good stuff. You're not going to reach it with the thumb on your right hand. You're going to have to use the thumb on your support hand on those magazine releases, or come over the top and rack the slide, however you want to do it. They're both extended releases. The Nighthawk being a little bit longer, a little bit bigger, but they are both extended, so they're very, very easy to do magazine releases. That is not going to be an issue. The slides on both of them. So, as far as durability, I think they're going to be about the same. They have the same type of finish. There's so much to go over on the slide. The Staccato has less pressure to rack the slide. The spring pressure tension is less. And a lot of people think that's smoother because of it. The Nighthawk is a little bit smoother. It just has a little bit more spring pressure to rack that slide than the Staccato. They both have front and rear serrations. The Staccato front serrations are actually relief cuts, and they are a lot more aggressive. So if you like aggressive serrations, you're going to like the Staccato serrations better than the Nighthawk. The Nighthawk are okay, but there's only 2 cutouts there. I wish there was a few more. The Staccato serrations are definitely more aggressive. Now the sights, they do carry over some similarities. They're metal sights, they're high quality, they're good to go. The front sight on the Staccato is a fiber optic, it's dovetail. It's actually built into the comp, which is kind of cool, and you can take it out if that is not your jam, but I do like those sights. And if you're gonna get a gun of this price, you might as well get an optic to go with it. When you don't have an optic on here, you have a standard blacked out rear sight with some serrations on the back. Very, very nice. Both guns, when you add an optic, you do lose the rear sight, so you're gonna have to add that sight back in. There's a couple ways to do so with the Staccato. Like this one, for example, has a loophole Delta Point Pro, because that mounts directly to the slide without needing an accessory plate. When you do that, you can slide in an optic right in. The loophole has a cutout, so you can slide that optic right in. They co-witness, it's steel, it's durable, it's good to go. Other times, you can get plates, like an RMR plate, for example, that the rear slide will go into. And I don't know if rear sights are really necessary. You can probably just look through the window and aim it up, but it's good to have. If this was my gun, I would absolutely want to have that rear sight. Now, one thing that's different on the Nighthawk is the front sight is 24 karat gold. Not like gold plated, I mean legit 24 karat gold front sight. And that is just awesome. I love it. Again, the front sight is built into the comp. It is dovetailed in and out if you want to remove it, and it's just cool. If you're gonna flex on your friends with a gold sight, it's awesome. Same idea, you have a nice high quality steel blacked out rear sight. With this one, when you add the optic, you lose the rear sight. The optic plate on the Nighthawk does add the rear sight in front of the RMR, in front of the sight. I have no problems with it. Doesn't bother me, doesn't distract me. Now, the owner of this gun didn't like that. He said he did not like the sight in front of the optic. It distracted him. The 10 friends or so I had shoot this gun agreed with me. They said, I don't care that optics, the rear sight's there. They didn't even notice. They were focusing on the target and the dot. But again, I want to be as thorough as possible. I've heard people say having the sight in front of the optic will help protect the optic a little bit. Maybe, kinda, I don't know. Sure, why not? I won't argue with that. It is in front of there, and again, they're steel sights. They're good to go. Optics, plates, accessories. Both of these guns come without optics. You should spend the extra money. They're both a little customizable. You can add accessories and different barrels and different sights and all sorts of ambi safeties and different things to these guns, and you should absolutely own and add an optic. Even if you're not into optics yet, if you're behind the curve, it's okay. Get the optic, and you can always add the physical optic later, but get it optics cut. Trust me, you won't regret it. Takedown, this is going to be the awkward part of the video, and please, please, please forgive me. I can't take the Nighthawk down. So the Nighthawk needs a takedown tool. There's a little spot in the recoil spring where you put the takedown tool in there to take it apart. I've watched some videos. It looks very easy, very, very straightforward, very 2011-esque. It does not look hard, but I'm sorry. I can't do it. Please forgive me. When you put that takedown tool in, the takedown is the same as the rest of the guns. Yeah, I'll do it on the Staccato. You make sure the gun's unloaded. Right behind the slide release cutout, there's a little cutout for the takedown lever, slide release. You push it from one side out through the other side, and that takedown lever comes right out. You don't have to pull the trigger on either one of them. Now, one unique thing and one small advantage the Staccato has, it has a Dawson Precision toolless recoil guide rod spring thingy-mabobber. So you push it through the front, you push down on this little lever, and then now the recoil spring is captured into one piece, and it makes taking the gun apart a little bit easier. You don't have to deal with springs flying and all that good stuff. After that, pull the bushing down, pull the barrel right out the front. Now the comp is built into both of these guns, so the comp comes right out, and having the comp on these guns does not make it any more difficult or any easier to take the gun apart compared to any other 2011. Another thing I want to talk about is aesthetics. Now this is very personal. You know, what one person says is going to be drastically different to others. I think Staccato makes a beautiful gun. I think they're more duty guns than they are aesthetically pleasing. So if you ask aesthetics, for those of you who care about aesthetics out there, I think the Nighthawk is definitely a better looking gun, aesthetically pleasing. I like the 50 Shades of FDE. I like that it looks like a double stack 1911. I got to give the aesthetics edge to the Nighthawk. All right, here are the dimensions and the weight. The Nighthawk is definitely heavier, and that's one of the reasons why I'm getting ahead. It's heavier, it's more expensive, and I'm going to leave it at that for a minute. Now, these are MSRP prices. At local gun stores, you'll probably see them for less, and again, you can upgrade some stuff if you want to get it for more, but let's get into testing. I almost gave away the testing. So, I have close to 1,000 rounds on the Staccato. Don't tell Woo. And I have easily 500 rounds in the Nighthawk, probably more than that. I was just going through the footage before this, and I shot these guns a lot. Once you start shooting them, you don't want to stop. So what I did was I shot the same exact drills with both of the guns. One day we were running and gunning. I did the running and gunning drill with the Staccato, then I did the running and gunning drill with the Sand Hawk. I was drawing from the holster with one, I drew from the holster from the other. Rang a bunch of steel. I tried to do things that most people are going to do with these guns. They're big guns, they're competition guns. Most people are going to use that for range time. So we did some static planking, but we did a lot of running and gunning, a lot of hitting steel, moving around, magazine exchanges, you get the point. I did everything but destructive testing because those guns are too nice to do any destructive testing. Pretty much everyone who shot both of these guns preferred the Nighthawk. The Nighthawk, the felt recoil is less on the Nighthawk. You don't feel as much of the felt recoil. I don't know if the comp is more effective. I don't know if it's because it's hand fit. I don't know if it's because of the extra weight of the gun or all three of them. But the the Nighthawk definitely has less felt recoil. Now with that said, the Staccato shoots beautiful. I mean, absolutely beautiful. First time I shot it, I giggled like a little schoolgirl. I'd be proud to own it. It's a great, great, great gun. So Staccato fanboys, calm yourself. In my eyes, I think I'm getting ahead to overall here, but when I look at the Staccato, I think duty. I think range, I think hard use, I think abuse. I think if I owned a Staccato, I would have no problem beating the snot out of it. It just seems like that type of gun to me. With a Nighthawk, I was afraid to shoot it. It's beautiful, it's nice. I was delicate with it, I went easy. When I put it on this gun wall behind me, I did very gentle put it on there. With a Staccato, I just wanted, it's a duty gun and I want to run it hard and beat it. I don't know why, but that's my mindset on both of the guns. All right, let's talk about pros, the Staccato pros. I think Staccato makes the best value for a high-end gun. There's nicer guns, there's more expensive guns, but for those higher-end tier, they make the best value for a high-end tier. The comp is super effective, the front serrations are good, the trigger is scary light, scary light, so make sure you practice with it. The optic system is decent, the grip texture is great, love the grip texture. You can remove the magazine well, and Staccatos become so popular that the aftermarket support on them is great. The Nighthawk is beautiful, it's a work of art. One gun, one gunsmith. It's smooth, it's sexy, it's classy, it's elegant. Again, the comp kills all of that felt recoil, love it. The optic system is decent. I like the grip, I love the trigger. The trigger's great. They're both beautiful guns. Now, as far as cons, let me see. I wish the Nighthawk came with 3 magazines instead of 2. Dude, I'm dropping 5-6 grand. Give me a 3rd magazine. And I wish it had another serration here, maybe 1 or 2 more serrations. With that said, it takes no effort to rack the slide, but if I could change the gun, those are the things I would change. The Staccato, the trigger kind of scares me a little. I wish it was a little heavier. And besides that, I don't know. I had another con in the Staccato video and I didn't write it down and I don't remember what it is. I apologize. I'll put it up on here on the screen if I can remember what it is, but I can't off the top of my head. Again, I've said it 3 times. Overall, they're both beautiful guns. They both shoot nice. If you get either one, you'll be happy. What it comes down to is if you could happen to get your hands on both of them, that'd be great. Unlikely. Hopefully you can use this video and I told you the differences enough for you to say, I think I want to try this one or try that one. Either way, they're both guns, both beautiful guns, and you can't complain. I want to thank Woo for loaning me the Staccato. Praise Woo. I want to thank Kevin for loaning me the Nighthawk. I have the best, most generous friends in the world. I will try to put some affiliate links down there. Hopefully I can find one of these in stock for you, and 2, a good deal, which is unlikely on both, but hopefully I can do that. We have some swag. If you didn't notice, we have long sleeve shirts now to go with them short sleeve shirts. We have patches. If you want to support the channel, subscribe and buy some swag. Those are the best ways to support the channel. Anyway, I'm done talking. This is probably going to be a long video, so thank you for sticking with me. Like, comment, subscribe, enable the bell notifications. If you do any of those things, definitely help me out. I definitely appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!